happened on that one?
Well, you see, the weight, it went up and it wanted to come back down, but I was trying to put it up, and then it made an executive decision to go down, and so I let it.
It's all right. We call that falling with style.
You grow up with some sports in the background, but you know, when you're a high school football player and you eat like a high school football player and you stop being a high school football player, like the freshman 15 doesn't like cover it when you get to college. Like if you take one of those things out and put one of those things back in, like you're gonna put on some weight. And so I did that.
It's funny too, like what I know now compared to like when we were in high school. I'm sure you remember, it was like before the games they would bring in like pizzas and like all this food, carbs, as many
pasta
carbs.
dinner.
Yeah. And like you said, it's like if you weren't playing those sports and you're eating that much food, oh my gosh. So did you go to college?
I did go to college. That's where actually the other part of my story that some of your listeners may relate to or may have dealt with in some aspect of their life. I was kind of a textbook binge drinker.
Okay.
Like, that college party vibe. Think like, Tommy Boy kind of, like, that old, Chris Farley. Pretty much, yeah, going through a coffee table, getting into trouble, I was a wrecking ball. And when you're 300 pounds of like, creeping up on 300 pounds of, party animal, your friends don't like have as much ability to stop you from doing what you're doing as, they might like. And so that was my first brush with getting up on the scale. I dropped out of college at that point because I was drinking my way out of that. My parents gave me that tough love ultimatum that, I wouldn't wish on anybody's parents to have to do. But, they say, Eric, you are on the wrong path. We can't support this. This is untenable. You can keep going to college and finance yourself. You can do it on your own. More power to you. Or with our blessing, kind of thing, why don't you try exploring other options? And one of those was the Army. The Army was good for a couple of things. I spent 4 years in the Army.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And learning new things about each other.
I love it, dude.
I don't know if you guys will see the video, but this is the second moment Joey and I have had today.
Yeah.
The other one was when I dropped weights on my head. But no, I went into the military and I did 4 years in the Army. But it was kind of I did mature a lot. I did gain a lot of new skills and a new perspective, but it was really, it was a Band-Aid fix for the things that were wrong with me.
Okay.
It's like, I patched up the outside, but I still didn't address the core issues that I had with food and alcohol and fitness. Fitness was something I had to do when I was in the Army. It was, PT in the mornings and, meeting certain health and dietary requirements. It was not yet a focal point of who I feel like I am now.
So did you lose weight when you were in the military?
I did.
And then did you gain it back, or did you keep it off?
So much I gained it back.
Okay,
There were a couple points in my life where, I had kind of done that classic yo-yo thing. Like, I'd either gotten really into fitness and then, a breakup brings it back, or a big life transition brings it back. And you find some way to justify to yourself why you put these things on the back burner. But for me, the thing that had persisted throughout this, that I was still only getting to the point where I was able to confront, was the fact that I was for all intents and purposes an alcoholic, and I didn't know it yet.
I think a lot of people don't. Like, I know a lot of people who I would consider, and I worked with like AA and stuff like that in college and addicts and all that kind of stuff. But I think that's like the thing, is people need to really come to terms with, like you said, you had all the characteristics, but you didn't grasp that yet.
Yeah, there's one thing, I can't remember if it's in one of the books like that's out there, but it's once that seed's been planted in your head that you're an alcoholic. Like, you can never unplant that seed. Like, it's there. Like, that idea in the back of your head, if it's you, if that applies to you and you don't even recognize it yet, but something about you is wrong and you can't put your finger on what it is, that's probably you. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. I met that criteria in one way or another, whether it was like, in college I was more prone to like binge drinking, like, that weekend, like, party frat boy type thing, go out on Friday and Saturday, or, and then Friday and Saturday you add a Thursday in, but like Wednesday, the weekend's almost there. So, you know, you go with a couple friends, but it's only a few because it's wing night. And then Taco Tuesday, you got to go to Taco Tuesday, but we'll be back early.
Yeah.
So yeah, you find a way to justify and you find a way for it to creep into your life. But that to me was like, you know, anytime I got into trouble with some other aspect of my life, that core underlying issue, like I didn't always get in trouble when I drank, but every time, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Every time I was getting in trouble, I was drinking. Like, and so, yeah, it was a bad habit building on a bad habit.
So my big thing is like, was the pinnacle moment, I would say, when your parents set you down, or was it after, like, post-Army, where you kind of were just like, okay, I need to make a legit serious change? And you said, like, the Army, like, they're, you know, like you said, it was just that Band-Aid over. So when did you have that moment for yourself?
My moment, I would like to say that this was a completely self-brought on discipline change that I made, you know, because I was looking out for, you know, for my family and what it takes to be a man. But it took me, you know, getting behind the wheel and you know, trying to make it home, thinking I was fine after all the best advice in the world from friends trying to pull those keys out of my hand. Thank God I didn't get into an accident. Thank God I didn't hit anyone. The only thing that happened was an officer saw me cross a median line, you know, when I was on my way home. He pulls me over in the development where my parents live at, and he gives me a DUI. And this set into action, like, you know, all the legal processes that go along with it. Fortunately, this was my only offense, although I'm sure through the grace of other people around me, it wasn't because I was living a good life up to that point and had not been breaking the rules. It's because people looking out for me had been like, oh, give Erik a pass. You know, he's a good guy, his heart's in the right place. And they thought they were helping me, but they were enabling me to get to this point where I would get behind the wheel, absolutely smashed, and try to make it home. I mean, it's not a proud moment. A grown man pissed myself on like, you know, the floor of my parents' house, and my parents, like, the couch I was staying at because I couldn't get up to my bed. Like, this was not a moment where the person you see right now is the person who existed then. Like, that was a very broken person. I mean, I'm not by any definitions whole now, but I mean, I was a person really struggling to find a place and you know, reaching out in every which way I could. I'm not a religious man, but I am very blessed to have a strong family network in my life. My parents have a great faith that they celebrate in their lives, and they've always, you know, prayed for me and had my back. Even when it's been tough love, even when, you know, their son has put himself in harm's way because of it. But they said, look, we're gonna give you one more chance to stay under our roof. You're gonna get sober, you're gonna go to meetings every day, and you are gonna do everything in your power. You're gonna hold down your job, you're gonna beg for them to let you keep it after you put this negative press out about yourself, you know, being in the newspaper and all that. And so that's what I did, and I started putting my head down and grinding.